Leo, I have to tell you something important right away. The universe is removing a toxic woman from your life today. And the wish you've been quietly holding on to, the one that felt too big or too far away. It's finally being approved. Not next year. Not someday. But within the next 48 hours. You're not watching this by chance. You're here because something inside you whispered it was time. Time to stop tolerating what drains you. Time to see clearly what's been pulling you off your path. Time to rise again, but this time, without the weight of the past holding you down. Let's be honest. You've felt it for a while now, haven't you? That something in your world has felt off. Like a weight in your chest you couldn't name. Maybe it was confusion. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was loyalty to someone who stopped deserving it a long time ago. But you stayed, you tried, you hoped. And still, your light got dimmer. Today, that ends. This video was made for Leo, for you, because you've reached a turning point. And whether you're ready to admit it or not, the universe is already shifting things behind the scenes. It's not subtle anymore. That woman, whether she's a friend, a sibling, a boss, or even someone from your past, has been interfering with your growth. She might have looked like love, sounded like support, acted like family. But her energy has been anything but nourishing. And deep down, you know this. Now, under the powerful energy of the Virgo new moon and solar eclipse, everything is being rebalanced. What's real stays. What's fake fades. And anything blocking your light gets removed, even if you're not the one doing the removing. So if you've noticed strange distance, missed calls, awkward silences, or emotional detachment lately, don't fight it. Don't chase what the universe is trying to clear. It's protection. It's alignment. It's a doorway, not a loss. And the moment this release is complete, which is happening now, your wish finally has room to arrive. That thing you've been praying for. The chance. The opportunity. The peace. The person. The sign. It's coming. And if you stay open, you'll see proof of it within the next 48 hours. I know that might sound dramatic, but the truth is, the stars are lining up in a way that doesn't happen often. And when they do, Leo, you don't hesitate, you lead. You step into what's yours. You stop shrinking and start owning it. If you've ever felt like you had to perform, to be strong all the time, to act like everything is fine when it's not, it's time to lay that armor down. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be powerful, radiant, and real. And right now, the universe is helping you remember who you are by taking away what you're not. So take a breath, Leo. You're safe here. This is your place of clarity, of confirmation, of divine timing. And before we go deeper into what's unfolding, take a moment and drop a comment below. I'm ready to receive what's meant for me. Because your words have power. And when you write them, you send a signal not just to the algorithm, but to the universe itself. Thank you for showing up. For saying yes to this moment. For letting yourself be guided, even when you don't have all the answers. Your presence here helps this message reach more people who need it. And that matters. Stay with me until the very end, because what's about to unfold could change how you see everything. And Leo, the first promise, you're going to want to hear every last word. She may have called herself your friend. Maybe she wore the title of sister, or mentor, or partner. Maybe she raised you. Maybe she stood beside you during one of your darkest seasons. But deep inside, you've known for a while now something about her energy never sat right. It lingered in your chest after every interaction, like a weight that didn't belong to you. And every time you tried to explain it even to yourself, it came out sounding ungrateful, overly sensitive, or just plain confusing. That's how emotional manipulation works. It hides itself in false loyalty. It wears a mask of care while feeding off your light. When we talk about a toxic woman being removed from your life, it's not about blame or anger. It's about clarity. This is the season where the fog lifts, where the confusion melts away, and you finally see what your spirit has been trying to tell you for years. This connection isn't sacred, it's suffocating. And now, under this powerful Virgo eclipse, the universe is stepping in to help you do what your heart has known but your nervous system has feared. Let her go. You might not even need to act. Sometimes, the break comes gently. Conversations fizzle. The energy no longer connects. Their name stops showing up in your inbox. Other times, it's more intense: a fight, a reveal, or a final straw that suddenly makes it all click. However it shows up for you, know this: it is not your job to carry someone else's darkness just because they once held a candle for you. That's not love. That's a soul contract that has expired. Energetically, this eclipse is like a cosmic vacuum pulling out everything that no longer resonates with the next version of you. The presence of Mercury in trine with Uranus intensifies this awareness. You're not imagining the shift. This isn't emotional drama. It's divine timing. What's being removed isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's clearing room for what's meant to come next, which can't land as long as you're still emotionally tethered to the old storyline. From a symbolic lens, think of the Devil card in tarot not as a demon, but as the metaphor for false attachment. Add to that the reversed Queen of Swords, sharp words used to wound, not to heal, intellect twisted to dominate, not to understand. These are the energetic patterns you're now being freed from. And Leo, of all signs, you were never meant to live beneath someone else's projection of who you should be. Your soul was built for visibility, authenticity, and warmth, not for walking on emotional eggshells. But here's the hard truth: we often hold on because of memory. Because we believe that letting go makes what we had meaningless. But healing is not betrayal. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for both of you is release the tie. Not with resentment, but with reverence. This is where self-help meets soul work. You don't need a grand confrontation. Just try this: sit down, write their name. Breathe. Picture yourself surrounded by light, white, soft, healing. Then say, either silently or aloud, I forgive you. I release you. I reclaim myself. Do this not to punish them, but to free you. And if you need a moment of stillness to remember who you are beyond the pain, find it here. Because this is not about becoming hardened, it's about becoming whole. You are not here to prove your worth through suffering. You are here to grow, to shine, to rise. If you're still with me, and this message resonates, I want you to anchor it in your reality right now. Scroll down and write in the comments, I choose to be free from manipulation. That comment isn't just a click, it's a declaration. It tells your subconscious, your soul, and yes, the universe, that you are no longer available for relationships that distort your light. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll look at what happens once this space is cleared, and how your deepest wish may already be making its way toward you. Sometimes the biggest shift doesn't happen when you try harder, it happens when you finally let go and allow. And after everything you've been through, Leo, maybe this is exactly where you're meant to be right now, in that quiet moment where something deep within you whispers, what if it actually works this time? You've already cleared the space. The toxic ties are unraveling. The noise is beginning to fade. And into that open space, something new is stepping in. Not just an idea or a fleeting hope, but a very real, very tangible gift from the universe. One that has been circling you for months, maybe even years, waiting for your energy to match its arrival. Here's what most people miss about manifestation. It's not about effort, it's about alignment. The truth is, your biggest wish, whether it's love, career, healing, or a breakthrough in your family, is already hovering in your energetic field. But it couldn't land before. Not when you were still entangled with people and patterns that made you feel small, confused, or unworthy. Now that you're stepping back into your light, it can finally make its way through. In astrology, timing is everything. And right now, the alignment is rare. This Virgo solar eclipse is activating precision and purity. Virgo doesn't play games with wishful thinking. It says, what are you doing daily to prove you're ready? At the same time, the star card appears, a cosmic signature of hope, healing, and renewed vision. And when the star meets the Ace of Pentacles, that's when divine inspiration meets physical opportunity. It's no longer just in your mind. It shows up in your inbox. It calls you back. It reaches for you. And here's the thing, 48 hours may sound specific, even impossible. But in spiritual numerology, 4 represents stability, and 8 represents infinite flow. Together, they form a window of rapid transformation, especially when you've done the inner work. You're not waiting on the world anymore. The world is waiting on you to say yes. But that yes must come not just from your lips, but from your choices. From the way you wake up and speak your desire out loud. From the way you write it down, not once, but every morning, like a sacred reminder that this life belongs to you, and you are no longer hoping. You're preparing. The law of attraction responds not to desperation, but to embodiment. When you live as though the thing you want is already yours, you stop vibrating at the frequency of lack. You become the match for what you've asked for. This is what some call the law in reverse. It's not about wanting harder, it's about acting like it's already in the room. So, write the thing down. That dream you've been quietly carrying. Speak it aloud 3 times tomorrow morning. Look in the mirror when you do it. And don't chase it, live like it's inevitable. Let the energy of that truth settle in your body. Let it shift your posture, your choices, the way you talk to people, the risks you take. Because when you do that, not in fear, but in quiet readiness, you open the gates. And if this message feels like it found you right on time, there's a reason. You didn't miss the moment. You're right in it. Let it land. Let it come in. And if you're ready to claim it, anchor this energy now. Type in the comments below, I am ready to receive my miracle in the next 48 hours. Not just as a wish, but as a declaration. A way of saying to the universe, I'm not afraid of good things anymore. I'm ready for them to stay. Stay with me. What's coming next may just change everything. You've worn so many masks, haven't you? Some of them so well that even the people closest to you believed they were your true face. The strong one. The reliable one. The one who always has it together. But underneath it all, Leo, there's a quieter truth you've been tired of performing. And not because you're weak. No, quite the opposite. Because you're finally realizing that real strength doesn't come from carrying the world silently. It comes from knowing when to put it down and choosing yourself instead. This part of your journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world started telling you who you needed to be. That's why this awakening feels unfamiliar, even a little uncomfortable. Because letting go of the old roles means stepping into territory where there's no script to follow. But here's the beauty of it, you get to write your own now. You were never meant to live inside someone else's label of you. Not the achiever, the fixer, the perfect partner, the one who never complains. These titles might have brought approval or even applause, but they came at a cost. They trained you to filter your feelings, to suppress your doubts, and to mistake emotional survival for spiritual alignment. That's over now. Energetically, the card of strength, especially when it shifts from reverse to upright, tells this exact story. It's not about dominance or pretending to be fearless. It's about a quiet, grounded kind of power. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything. The kind that's rooted in truth. And when strength shows up in Leo's reading, it's deeply personal. Because Leo, you are ruled by the sun. You are meant to shine. But you're not meant to burn out trying to keep others warm. Astrologically, Saturn's transit through your 12th house has likely felt like walking through fog. A long season of internal tests, hidden fears, quiet breakdowns that no one saw. But that cycle is reaching its end now. And you, wiser and softer, are stepping out of it with something precious, clarity. The kind of clarity that makes it impossible to keep shrinking just to be accepted. This is your permission slip to unmask. To stop trying to live up to an idea of strength that was never made for your soul. Let your softness be seen. Let your anger speak up when needed. Let your truth live louder than your image. That's what authenticity looks like. And that's where your real magnetism begins. As a small emotional healing exercise, take 5 quiet minutes with yourself today. On a blank page, write the sentence, "I am no longer," and let it finish itself. Whatever role, belief, or identity comes up, write it down. Then write, "I am becoming," and give your future self a voice. Let it be raw. Let it be real. Let it surprise you. You don't owe anyone perfection, only your presence. If this message resonates, speak it into your own life now. In the comments, say it like you mean it. I am no longer a copy, I am fully, completely me. Because that declaration isn't just a line. It's a turning point. One where you stop asking for permission and start stepping into your place, not as a version of who you think you should be, but as the leader, creator, and healer you truly are. You're not lost. You're emerging. And I promise, what's waiting for you next will feel more like home than anything you've known before. Stay close, there's more to uncover. Sometimes the shift we've been waiting for doesn't come in a dramatic moment or grand event. It comes quietly in the form of a message we almost didn't open, a stranger we nearly ignored, or an opportunity that feels too small to mean anything. Until it changes everything. Leo, after all the inner work you've done, the universe is now ready to meet you halfway, but it may do so in a form that doesn't look like what you expected. You've been shedding old identities, letting go of people who no longer fit, and reclaiming parts of yourself you had to hide to survive. That clearing wasn't for nothing. It was preparation. And now, the space you've created is being noticed not just by people around you, but by life itself. This is the part where you realize the universe has been listening all along. The next door you walk through may not have your name on it in flashing lights, but it will carry an energy that feels familiar in your bones. Something about it will feel like yes, even if your mind can't quite explain why. This is what we see when the Page of Wands shows up in a reading. It's not the finish line. It's the first spark, the message, the idea, the new beginning. The page is curious, open-hearted, and just bold enough to say yes without needing every answer. And when it shows up alongside the Fool, that's confirmation that it's time to start fresh. No map, no certainty, just a willingness to leap when your spirit nudges you forward. Astrologically, this kind of shift often comes when fire and air elements are activated, and right now, with Mars feeding bold momentum and Mercury aligned with change-driven Uranus, the message is clear: stay open. Something or someone is about to reach out. Maybe it's a text from someone you haven't heard from in months. Maybe it's a job opening, a collaboration, or even a spontaneous conversation that opens a new path. Whatever it is, it might not make perfect sense right away, but that's not a reason to ignore it. That's your cue to pause, feel, and respond from the deeper part of you that knows timing better than your calendar does. The invitation here is simple: don't reject the unexpected. Not everything aligned with your purpose will arrive wrapped in logic. Some things come cloaked in intuition, a pull in your gut, a sense of knowing that has no words. And when you feel that, Leo, trust it. You are naturally gifted at reading energy, even if you've been taught to second-guess that gift. This is the time to trust your inner flame. So when that opportunity presents itself in whatever form it takes, answer it. Not because it's guaranteed to succeed, but because you're no longer willing to stay stuck waiting for a perfect plan. Growth rarely comes with instructions. It comes with invitation. This one's yours. And if you're still with me right now, that says something powerful. It says you're already listening. You're already preparing. You're already becoming the version of you who's ready to say yes. Let's make that real. If this moment resonates with you, declare it. Write this in the comments: I open my heart to the opportunity the universe is sending me. Say it like a promise to yourself not to chase everything, but to welcome what feels right. Because this isn't just about what's knocking. It's about who you're becoming when you finally decide to answer. Stay with me, what's next may change everything. If you've made it this far, Leo, you've probably already felt the shift. It doesn't happen in a flash of lightning or a grand announcement. Most of the time, it's something much quieter, a subtle but irreversible sense that you've outgrown the version of yourself that once had to survive in silence. That's what transformation really is. Not just a change in circumstances, but a reclaiming of who you are when you're no longer living in reaction to pain. This part of your journey isn't about healing the past anymore. That was earlier. This is about building the future from a completely different foundation, one that's rooted in wholeness, not in wounds. You've felt betrayal. You've stumbled through disappointments you didn't see coming. And you've had moments where your soft heart made you an easy target. But all of it has been refining you, not ruining you. Every cracked place was making room for light. And now, you're not just healing, you're designing. That's what it means when the magician enters your reading. You're standing at the center of all four elements: fire, earth, air, and water, no longer pulled in different directions, but consciously blending them to create something new. Add the Emperor to that, and the message is clear: you're not playing small anymore. You're not waiting to be invited in. You're building your own table, writing your own rules, becoming the architect of your own experience. In real life, that looks like choices that may not make sense to everyone, and that's okay. It might mean sleeping more because you realize you've been running on survival. Saying no more often because peace has become more valuable than people-pleasing. Reworking your schedule, your budget, your boundaries, not because things are falling apart, but because you finally believe you're worthy of something stronger. You're learning that soft doesn't mean naive. That love doesn't mean sacrificing yourself every time. That forgiveness doesn't mean giving people unlimited access to your energy. You've learned how to keep your heart open without letting everyone walk through it. And that is not weakness. That is mastery. This is what it means to be reborn while still walking through the same world, to carry a lighter soul in the same body, but with a different kind of gravity. When you stop reacting to life and start responding to your own vision, everything changes, not just outside you, but within you. Your nervous system starts to calm. Your relationships begin to reflect your self-worth. The people who once confused your silence for weakness start to sense your clarity, and they can't use the old tools on you anymore. That's power. So here's what I invite you to do now: rebuild the systems around you to match who you're becoming. Look at your sleep, your food, your daily rhythm. Are they aligned with a version of you that honors your light? Look at your finances, your inbox, your calendar. Are they filled with things that feed your soul or just drain it? Rebuilding doesn't always mean tearing everything down. Sometimes it just means finally choosing yourself at the center of the structure. If you feel the truth of this in your bones, even if you're not sure where to start, that's okay. The decision to choose yourself fully is the start. The rest will unfold. And if this part of the message speaks to the Leo in you that's been waiting for permission to step into your power, don't wait. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments below. I have been reshaped and I am unshakable. Because you are. And the light you carry? The world doesn't just need it, it's been waiting for it. After everything you've just heard, I want you to pause for a moment and really let this settle in. The woman who once drained your energy, confused your heart, or made you question your worth, is no longer part of your forward path. Her exit isn't punishment. It's permission. It's proof that the universe is no longer letting anything or anyone block what's meant for you. This isn't just a shift in your external world, it's a recalibration of your inner world. And that changes everything. The wish that's lived quietly in your heart, the one you may have doubted, delayed, or even dismissed, is now rising to the surface. The cosmic yes has already been spoken. The energy is in motion. But here's the truth: wishes don't come true because we chase them. They come true because we're finally ready to receive them. And you, Leo, are ready. The eclipse wasn't just an astrological event, it was a spiritual reset. And it's telling you, loudly and clearly, this is your green light. No more waiting for the right moment. No more shrinking for others' comfort. No more handing your power to circumstances. You are not being shaped by life, you are shaping it. You are no longer someone who gets swept up in others' chaos or caught in loops of emotional manipulation. You're no longer asking for a seat at the table. You are the table. And now, it's your time to choose what and who gets to be a part of your reality. So let me ask you, what are you ready to receive that you've been afraid to claim? What does your life look like when you stop living in response to pain and start living in alignment with your light? And what one action could you take today, even a small one that aligns you with the version of you who already has what you've asked for? These aren't just questions for reflection. They're invitations for transformation. And if this message found you at the perfect time, if you felt the goosebumps, the inner knowing, the quiet yes that came from somewhere deeper than logic, then trust it. You didn't land here by mistake. This video was your sign. The universe speaks through synchronicity, and this moment, it's proof you're being guided. So here's what I invite you to do now: take that energy and make it real. Declare it in the comments: I am ready to receive my biggest wish in the next 48 hours. And if you're aligning with abundance, type 888 or 777 to anchor your destiny. Thank you for being here with me, and thank you for allowing eternal mindfulness to be part of your journey. Every like, every comment, every subscription helps this channel continue to deliver these transformational messages to the people who need them most, maybe just like you did today. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so the universe can keep delivering divine timing straight to your screen. And if this video lit something inside you, share it. You never know who might be waiting for this exact message to change their path. You are no longer waiting for the miracle. You are the one calling it in. And trust me, it's already on its way.